Hi, welcome to the Tabs and Icons video series. In this video, we're going to look at one function called the choose function. The choose function is actually a function under the lookup and reference function in the formula library. So if you click on the formula tab, you see a group called function library, and there you have the lookup and reference. If you click on that, you will see choose. This is the function we're going to be looking at right now. Now, the choose function, just like any other lookup function, actually look up a particular value and returns another value. Now, the major difference between the choose function and other lookup functions like the VLOOKUP, index, and XLOOKUP is that the choose function can only look up a number. Now, VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, index can look up both number and a text, but the choose function is restricted to looking up only a number, so it doesn't look up a text. So if you have your data that require you to look up tests, you actually have to convert a particular column to numbers to identify those tests. Let's look at our first data. Let's see. Now we have this information here: serial number, staff name, grade, and hours worked and hourly wage. Now we have another table here showing the grade level 1 to 5 and the hourly wage. Now let's look at what we're supposed to do. We have here our illustration saying, at the end of every month, you compute the monthly overtime wage for all staff on grade levels 1 to 5 of your company, based on the total overtime hours worked and the hourly wage rate for the different grade levels. The schedule for the month of March has been submitted to you along with the hourly wage rate of each grade level. You are required to compute the monthly overtime wage of the staff using the following functions. Now, the first function we're going to use to achieve this, we are told to use the choose function, and we're also told that the VLOOKUP can also do the same thing. So we're going to use the VLOOKUP to achieve that, and we'll also use the XLOOKUP. Now, the XLOOKUP is only available to subscribers to Microsoft 365. That's if you have lower version, you won't be seeing that, but you can watch us as we walk along. Now, let's look at this particular person, Ekene. He is on grade level 4 and he has worked for 32 hours. Now, how much is he going to earn at the end of the month? So we're going to look at level 4 is 230. So he's going to earn 230. Let's take 230. This is his wage rate per hour multiplied by the number of hours he has worked. He has worked for 32. That means going to earn 7590. Now, when we get to the next person who is grade level 1, we're going to be looking at that person also, but that's going to be quite difficult. Let's use the choose function if we can arrive straight at the value of their hourly wage, their monthly wage. So let's look at the choose function, the syntax. Equal to choose, open a bracket, you have index number. Now, I just mentioned earlier that it looks only for a number, not a text. So this function have two mandatory arguments: the number you're looking up and the value to return. So if you're returning multiple values, the other ones become optional arguments. So I'm going to use this to say, okay, what am I going to look off? I take the choose and I open the brackets, asking me index number. So I'm looking for this grade. That's the first I'm going to look for. And I take my comma. It's asking me value. What value should it return? Now I have the values here. Now, unlike the other lookup functions too, the choose function cannot create a range. Rather, you have to select the values one after the other. So for 1, I'm going to take that. And then if it's 2, it's going to be this. If it's 3, if the grade is 3, this is going to be the wage rate. If the grade is 4, this is going to be it. And if the grade is 5, this is going to be this. So what have I done now? I've just indicated the hourly wage. Now, if I hit my enter key, if I'm right, it should give me 230 because that's the hourly wage for that. So I hit my enter key and it's give me 230. Now you can see that grade 4 is 230. Now, because I intend to copy this down, I'm going to hold the whole of these ones fixed because they are going to fit. So I take my F4 to hold that fixed. Now, if I copy this down, it's telling me grade 1 is 6. And if you check grade 1 is 6. But that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for their total monthly salary. So I'm going to multiply this by 33. So rather than create a different column, I'm just going to come here and say multiply by the hours worked during the month. So this become the monthly wage for that. Just drag this one down and I'm done with that. So I have used choose, let me put it here, to achieve that. Now, it means this guy that worked for 33 hours is going to earn 7,590 at the end of the month. This guy is going to earn 18. But we're also told that we can achieve this using VLOOKUP. So let's see how we can achieve this using VLOOKUP. So I'm going to copy this here and then change this one to VLOOKUP. I'm just going to see if I can achieve this same thing. So I'm going to use VLOOKUP and compare if I can have this. And we know the VLOOKUP function. I've treated VLOOKUP a lot of times in my YouTube channel. So if you've not watched that, you can go to the YouTube channel and brace yourself up with the VLOOKUP function. We know what the VLOOKUP function does. Equal to VLOOKUP, you look up a value. That value could be a text or a number, and then you define a range and you return an item on the next selected column. So I'm going to say equal to VLOOKUP. So what am I looking up? What value am I looking up? I'm looking up 4. Now I'm going to look up 4 and I take a comma. It's going to ask me table range. Where am I looking it from? I'm going to search for it here in the whole of that range. Now I'm going to hold that fixed too by taking F4. And when I take comma, I will know the value is going to ask column number index. Which column should it return? If it sees that number here, it should return the value on the second column. So I'm going to say 2. And I take my comma. It's going to ask me first. Yes, I take first, which is exact match. That's all I need to do. If I hit my enter key, it should give me 230 because that's the wage rate for that. 230, cool. But I also want to know the total hours work multiplied by that. So I come here and I say multiply by this and I'm done. So you can see I have the same value. So I just copy down. And if you check, I've gotten the same value all through. I'm told also I can use XLOOKUP. So let's look at XLOOKUP and see if we can achieve the same thing using XLOOKUP. Now, like I mentioned, if you're using an earlier version, you won't have XLOOKUP, but if you're using Microsoft 365 and higher and then later versions, you won't have XLOOKUP. Now, the XLOOKUP works similar to the VLOOKUP, except that it won't take a range, it will take a column. So I'm going to say equal to XLOOKUP. It's asking me lookup value. What value am I going to look up? I want to look up this 4. Now, where range? The range of the XLOOKUP is either a column or a row. Is you look up that value in this particular place. So I take my F4 to hold it fixed, and I take it's going to ask me return value. What should you return? It should return what is on the hourly wage, which is this. Now, if I hit my enter, if I'm right, it should give me 230. So I hit my enter and it's telling me 230, which is cool. Now, all I need to do is multiply this value by the total number of hours worked. And you can see I have the same value. So I just copied this down and I am done. So this is how the VLOOKUP, the XLOOKUP is being used along with the VLOOKUP and XLOOKUP. In other videos, we'll see more of what the XLOOKUP can do, the VLOOKUP can do, as well as the choose. Thank you very much for listening, and bye-bye.